Welcome to the Dodge Training Series, Torque on 2 installation and maintenance videos. Today we're going to talk about bushing systems and how to install and remove them for the Torque on 2 reducer. For the Torque on 2 short shaft bushing kit, you have your 2 backing plates, your 2 snap rings, your key 6 bolts and lock washers, your standard bushing for the inboard side, and for the outboard side you have your extended bushing and your crown snap ring, as well as your instruction manual. The first step to installing any bushing system is to put the backing plate on the gearbox. This gives any of the bushings the ability to draw into the taper of the hub, compressing to the shaft and giving you that concentric fit on both sides. Now, what you do is put your backing plate on, take your snap ring, get it in the groove on the hub, and simply weave it around. No tools required. Now, a couple of things different when installing a short shaft bushing kit. Because you have an extended bushing reaching in to grab a short shaft, it doesn't compress in the taper of the hub. So we have to put an artificial taper in the gearbox. We do this in the form of a crown snap ring. The snap ring is a wedge shape. You put it in crown down. If for some reason someone puts it in crown up and gets it locked in there, simply turn it into the keyway, bend it real good with a screwdriver, knock it out the other side, straighten it out, and put it back in. It'll handle it several times. However, if your person puts it in there upside down twice, you might want to think about taking sharp tools away from it. Okay, now you put your crown in along the keyway, you slide it in, there's a groove machined into the middle of every single one of these Torque on 2 reducer hubs until it snaps. Now, it's hard to see, but you've got this crown snap ring in here, and that acts as your taper for your bushing to compress around the shaft. The next step to installing any bushing system is to slide the bushing, inboard bushing on the shaft. Now on a regular driven shaft you're going to have a keyway. The next step is to put your key in the keyway and prepare it to slide the rest of the gearbox on. Now, installing your reducer with your short shaft bushing kit, you need to be a little bit more careful. Get it on the shaft and make sure that that crown snap ring goes over the shaft. Slide it up to your reducer, inboard bushing. Now you've got to be careful. You've got to get your short shaft bushing over the shaft and inside the crown snap ring. The rest is relatively simple. You take your bolt through the untapped hole into the backing plate and get it started. And you simply use the same torque wrench and the same method to tighten your short shaft bushing as you do your standard bushing. Now you take your torque wrench, you adjust it for the bolt torques listed in your instruction manual, and you simply go around and equally tighten the bolts on the bushing, making sure that your gap is equal all the way around. Twin taper bushing systems eliminate any chance of wobble in your gearbox while on the driven equipment. However, you can induce a hop in the gearbox if you get the bushing kicked out in it like this. Because now you have a wider portion of the bushing at the bottom and a shallower portion at the top, and it's going to move in a loping pattern. If you put it in equally, you'll get long life, no wobble, no fretting corrosion, and it'll come right off the shaft. Now, removal of your twin taper bushing system is just as easy as the installation. You take your bolts out, and as you take your bolts out, you make sure that your threads in the threaded tapped portion of the bushing are clear of rust and dirt and debris, because that's where we're going to use them to remove the bushing. Now, you use the threaded portions of the bushing, running your screws through there This allows them to push against the backing plate and use it as a jack surface to pop your bushing right out of your gearbox. Comes right